Welcome to Market Matters. I'm Nadia Hassan together with Jonathan Gunn and Lynn Tang, where we actually try to snap up the market for you. It's the beginning of a new week, John. We're going to be talking about interesting stocks, stocks we've talked before, and stocks that make you feel very sexually confused. But other than that, right, I mean, I think that the market today was just down. The look on your face tells me that that's the case.
Yeah, indeed, Nadia. So Bursa actually dipped today in line with Asian shares, which fell on poor Wall Street gains. So an economic storm is actually expected ahead for this week. We have on Wednesday, Japan's industrial production. On Thursday, we have China's PMI. And on Friday, we have US non-farm payroll data. So do you think we'll see an alignment of stars again?
I don't know if it's going to be aligning the right way. You know, there was a huge blood moon on Sunday. I don't know whether that's a good thing, but okay. moon gazing aside, Lynn actually has actual facts for us. Yeah, so how's it look?
Well, John, you're right. Actually, it's going to be a week of heavy data coming out from China, from US. But today in the local front, KLCI actually was down 6.58 points to 1,608 points. Now, MIDF in a report today actually came out with a report saying that, foreigners last week, they actually offloaded 1.27 billion ringgit net in the open market. This is actually in contrast to the week before where they were actually net buyers. Now, it's actually worth to note that for this whole year, this actually raised cumulative net foreign outflow to 17.7 billion ringgit, and this is way surpassing the 6.9 billion ringgit outflow for the entire 2014. Interestingly, retailers actually bought the highest amount in a week this year, and it's actually stated that many retail investors are starting to see value at the current market level. But what's new, guys, though, today is actually the ringgit is actually weakened to a fresh low of 4.42 against the US dollar.
Does that hurt? I say this so many times, it hurts.
It hurts.
Yeah.
And analysts don't expect it to actually strengthen any further because note that last Thursday, Federal Reserve Chairman Janet Yellen said that it still intends to raise the benchmark interest rates this year, and also the ringgit concerns over the risk of more outflows from the Malaysian bonds or Malaysian government securities. On the regional front, yes, this week we have the China's Purchasing Managers Index on Thursday coming up, and this will actually give some clues on the strength of the China's economy. US non-farm payrolls data on Friday, and I think I read some reports saying that it's expected to show that the US economy will see actually some jobs adding up in September. So all this to be watching out for this week, guys.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Japan also has IPI and retail figures as well. So we'll see. It's also a short trading week for China,
exactly.
Right? They're all going on holiday. Don't you all wish we all could go on holiday? But thanks a lot for that, Lynn. Moving on to our hot stock of the day. I hinted at it that this makes John feel a bit funny. He's uneasy. IFCA MSC, we've actually talked about this quite a lot. 60 million shares changed hands, top gainers, 92.5 cent. That's what it closed that down, 4.64%. It got a nice UMA query, its fourth this year.
I mean, I always look at IFCA, and actually the fundamentals are very solid. It has very good prospects going for it. In particular, its purchase of the Indonesian company IFCA. Unfortunately, it's one volatile stock.
Yeah, up 114%, right? Yeah. So far this year. That's what I hinted at. It makes you feel very confused because on the other hand, right, this is not a stock that some people would peg as speculative. We've looked at things like IFCA MSC Bhd, where we've seen their share price just rocket, but there was no kind of announcements. These guys actually have been doing things. You did see net profit up 90%. So it's amazing the fact that their share price can be so volatile, but behind it there is something. But does it justify this 114% leap?
I mean, on the news front, of course, there are a lot of things going for IFCA, in particular the IFCA acquisition I mentioned. It's also slated to actually transfer to the main board somewhere this year. So the interesting thing about IFCA is that it actually announced a profit guarantee on its earnings. And I think that's a very bold move coming from a subsidiary, and this is actually in their favor. But I'm
I hear that note of hesitation.
I'm hesitating because the stock is so volatile.
But you can agree, you sort of argue that before this, right, IFCA did see a very low in its share price. Now, is it finally getting the goods? But I'm kind of with you. I look at the company, I do see a lot of good fundamentals. It's not as if there's noise behind it. But still, 4 UMAs in a year. What does that kind of signal to you? That's why I suppose you're looking at me with this confused look on your face, because you don't know how to feel. Actually, I don't know how to feel either.
True.
I mean, is it good? Is it bad? Is it a trader's market? Is that what we're seeing now?
I think it's a trader's market, but I have to say that the prospects remain bright because it's actually moving into Indonesia, which is ASEAN's biggest market. How can you go wrong with that?
No. If things don't go well for the economy, which looking at Southeast Asia in general, it's a bit tough, you know, that could be a downturn too.
But
I mean, isn't it tied to the fate of the economy, all this kind of...
There may be truth to that, but of course the thing is that they are developing market presence in a region that is untapped. And being the first performer there, wow.
Well, it's not going to be easy for them. So just to take it all away, right? IFCA's prospects, very, very attractive, still have very fundamental through the Indonesian subsea acquisition. However, we are looking at the 4th UMA this year. I think if that doesn't send you a bit, your heart racing a little bit skittish. You know, it is, you look at good upsides, you do see a lot of prospects, but is that leap just too much for some people to stomach? And how confused it makes Jon. But anyway, that's all we look at. We'll have to see how it pans out for IFCA.